I'm just kind of curious. I'm kind of curious if these are real, because it's, these things, they're so easily staged, and they've been doing it ever since Elon Musk changed things with X. Now people are really in this grifty economy. Everybody's trying to get clicks on their tweets or whatever, so that they can make money. They can get some money. So people fake things or report things oddly or weirdly. And the reason why that's kind of relevant, it's relevant to the next person we're going to be talking about, or could be relevant to the next person we're talking about. I'm not sure. I don't actually know very much about this guy. We're going to be looking at Dom Lucre's The Tunnels documentary. Now, Dom Lucre, as I've come to discover, doesn't actually have much of a big profile outside of X. He has like 1 million followers on X, but if you go over to his like YouTube page, or I think his Instagram too, he has much, much less. Like there's under 10,000 people subscribed to him on YouTube. So his main kind of revenue stream, where he does most of his stuff, is X. And recently he's been complaining about community notes getting him demonetized all the time. So, because apparently if you have like a tweet that goes viral and it gets community noted, like you're misrepresenting something, then you can't make ad revenue off of it. And he's kind of been out there lately talking about censorship, and he's the most censored man in the world, etc. Many are wondering if it has anything to do with his investigation into the tunnels in New York City. So he crowdfunded about 10 grand. So him and I think this one other guy, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2 other guys, could go to New York City, talk to some Hasidic Jews, and run around some tunnels in New York. So we're gonna check it out. I have not watched it. I know it came out a little while ago, but I didn't get a chance to cover it then, because I think we were doing Goes to the Movies. So yeah, we're gonna check it out. Then we're gonna check out some of the fallout from the documentary. He did a few interviews about it, so we'll maybe watch those too. And then after that, we're gonna do a short, briefly catch up with our freaky friends.
We all saw the videos
from around the globe. So let's see here. Dame Lucre's The Tunnels.
We all saw the video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trembling says, no wonder black chicks are the lowest level of desirability. Oh.
Videos. When it was discovered that secret...
it was very important for him to get down there right away before whatever's going on was covered up.
Tunnels were being built underneath a prominent synagogue in New York City. Hundreds of Jewish men disobeying police officers and attempting to block access to the underground tunnel.
This is actually not that uncommon in the Hasidic community. They do not really deal with regular police. They have kind of their own weird little system of justice and law. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the city kind of allows them to self-police up to a certain degree.
Hauling out soiled mattresses, with many being arrested throughout the chaos. We heard the excuses change with each passing day. At first claiming the tunnels were built to avoid COVID restrictions, and then claiming that the tunnels were built to avoid the possibility of future COVID restrictions. And finally, the claim that it was simply youngsters among the community who had simply carried out the construction themselves without adult knowledge or supervision.
Well, I think aren't all of these things kind of true? Isn't that what ended up coming out?
None of this was adding up. So I set out to New York City to find the answers and unearth the truth about the tunnels.
They turned this around pretty quick too, some nice production value. If you know what you're doing, you can make something look kind of nice.
770 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York. also known as the 770. It is the street address of the world headquarters of the Chabad Lubavitch Hasidic movement. The Chabad Lubavitch movement is widely considered to be the most dynamic force in Jewish life today. And it is...
Now, I don't know this for certain, but I feel like Dom is to some capacity like a black Hebrew Israelite adjacent or type, if I'm not mistaken. I see he wears a lot of like onks and stuff. He wears like a lot of Egyptian jewelry. And I know sometimes, black guys just do that. It's like part of, the kind of indie hip hop scene and whatnot. But I don't know if so maybe he feels some sort of some kinship here, He is also one of the chosen people. Trelming says the golem in the tunnel was explained as a modern art project even after it murdered 8 police officers.
Is where, just a few weeks ago, secret underground tunnels were discovered, causing a police response to what many have called a riot at the famous synagogue. Members of the Chabad Lubavitch community firmly believe that a late Menachem Mendel Schneerson, a Ukrainian-born rabbi and the 7th Rebbe of the Chabad Lubavitch dynasty, was the Jewish Messiah, and that Schneerson will be resurrected from the dead and to be revealed to the world, and that he was and is in fact the Jewish Messiah. The Rebbe was and still is the most prolific and influential man in Jewish life today.
I mean, is that would it be weird if there was like a little kind of pocket of people that did this, that felt this way in a religious community? Not really.
A local man had tipped me off to some underground tunnels where stories of kidnapping and disappearances continue throughout New York City. So we went in to see what we could find. We're in Brooklyn right now investigating the tunnels that we've been getting tipped off about. Here's about some strange activity going on in the tunnel. When we walked down here, we did see it.
This is kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of when we watched those the Jersey Devil episode. When we're learning about the Jersey Pines and those paranormal investigators. Remember those guys? We may get similar vibes here.
Child jacket that was abandoned, which is pretty strange, along with some other children's clothes, socks, and underwears, etc. Is that we've talked about to a few of the locals that also said they've seen some activity in and outside of this tunnel. Hopefully we get some transparency and get down to the bottom of it together. We're in one of the tunnels right now, exploring, going a little bit deeper, about to break off to the right.
Trelling says a real Baraska situation down there.
And exit off on the train tracks and go to the actual official portion of the tunnel that isn't connected to the train and has no infrastructure whatsoever.
It's like, oh, we found like old clothes scattered around. I mean, what is... And also, this is amidst like all of the migrant, the illegal immigrant crisis right now, where people are just all over the place. A lot of kids. It's not really that weird. It's not that ominous. It's not that spooky that you might find like they found a fucking jacket on the sidewalk. Trumping says, I wish that father and son were involved in this documentary. Oh, dude, it would be amazing. It would be incredible. I would go donate like $50 to Dom Lucre immediately if those dudes popped up.
This is what I was saying. This is where we have way more. This is a whole lot more interesting over here, I'll tell you that. This is one infrastructure.
What a shit doc. Okay, now these guys, they don't even have a fucking like microphone here. Onboard mic. They raised $10,000 to do this. $10,000 to do this. You can't even hear a fucking word this guy is saying. I have headphones in. It is up too loud for me, honestly, because of the way StreamYards fucks me with sound. And they couldn't even be bothered to do that. He's fucking walking away from the camera.
Found some type of kid's toy that's here. It looks like some rubber bullets or whatnot. I don't really know. It's really strange once we start getting these tunnels. We're finding a whole.
And this is where it comes into the griftiness of a guy like this who makes internet content on X specifically to get clicks and stuff. Now he's he's kind of plugged in to the kind of InfoWars world, etc., where he's a truth teller. This is culture jamming. He's trying to like mess with people's minds and get people to wake up. But I wouldn't put it past these guys to have planted this shit there themselves. I mean, it's not like it looks like somebody just dropped that shit there.
Found some type of kid's toy that's here. It looks like some rubber bullets or whatnot. I don't really know.
Like, I would not put it past them to have just thrown that there. Seems like he's there with a cameraman and another guy.
It's really strange once we start getting these tunnels. We're finding a whole lot of kid toys, a lot of kid clothing whatsoever, and then we just saw a mattress not too long ago. What's very strange is that there's no homeless down here in this tunnel, and it appears there's somewhat of a secret passage over there down to the right. So we're just going to try to see what we can find down here. As of right now, we see a lot of children products without any explanation.
A lot of children products without any explanation. Like a brand new belt of rubber bullets from a kid's costume. Tremlink says the father asks if some outlandish theory could be true. The son says it's true with certainty, and the father acts surprised at it, forgetting that he's the one that suggested the idea. Oh my God. Those guys are awesome. You know, man, I got to remember. I hope I remember, because I want to circle back and see if we can find more stuff with those dudes.
So right here, it's about faded out. It's what it looks like to me, and this is not even starting as a conspiracy. It looks like the squiggly triangle pyramid that the FBI recognizes as a pedophilia symbol. Like I stated before, it could just be a huge coincidence with that.
What is he talking? Is he talking about this? That's not, or is he talking about this? I'm pretty sure that's an E. Oh, that's not a triangle with a swirl in it. I think we're reaching, boys. I think what you're looking at is doodles from drug addicts. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got to start this off with a red alert, red alert, red alert.
Junkie doodles.
Not pretty odd, just those symbols, but yet again, like I stated, the far we go, here's yet the symbol that we saw a little bit earlier. This time it has some color with it, and it's a little bit more defined. And yet again, the all-seeing-eye is at the top of the forehead. Well, this time it's at the top of the forehead. Last time the all-seeing-eye was about itself, and the skull was at the bottom. On this one, I see both of them are joined together and create one image. So just stated, the farther we get in the tunnel, very strange symbolism.
Also, I wouldn't put it past them to have done this themselves. Just because they probably went down there and they're like, dude, there's nothing here. And we got $10,000. We've spent it all on, I think he was posting about it apparently on X, that he had just purchased like a $2,500 like jacket right after they had gotten the money. So, yeah.
So my name is Manny Wax, and I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. So I was...
Okay, so the way they framed this is to make it look like Dom here is talking to this guy, like he's interviewing him. That's the perspective that they give with this shot that they're trying to imply. Apparently, this guy has no idea who Dom is, and this interview is not given to Dom. He just kind of lifted it and put it in the documentary, and he has like kind of plausible deniability because he's like, well, no, the shot is just me watching it. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to make it look like I'm talking to him, even though he clearly is. He clearly is. Trembling says, I am definitely surprised that the city hasn't filled these tunnels with the African migrants that have flooded the city out of nowhere.
If we were to use a Hollywood term, we'd say shots fired, shots fired.
Just give them time.
Born and raised within an ultra-Orthodox environment. My dad Australian, my mum Israeli, and I am one of 17 children in a very strict religious environment.
And his brother is kind of famous. His brother works for Rebel News in Australia. Is it Avi Yamini, I think his name is? And he was very upset. He was very upset at this deception, this skullduggery.
Ultra-Orthodox. The religion is all-encompassing. Every aspect of your day is really dictated by religion and is really all-encompassing in terms of the effect it has on you, the expectation on you. At the age of about 11 or 12 years old, I was within...
Yeah, this is supposed to be... They literally tried to make it... They faked this, knowing that most people that watch it will never see probably most of the bullshit, or at least that would be his hope, right? He would hope that most people will never actually be aware of the scandal. He's just like, just let it rip, dude. Trembling says he nodded his head like we all do when watching a video. Exactly, yeah.
An institution.
Well, he's an actor too, Trembling. He's doing it for the camera so that we understand that he's taking the information in.
Or the Yeshiva Center, which is an ultra-Orthodox main institution of our community, our ultra-Orthodox community in Melbourne, Australia. And we used to study from early in the morning till late at night. And one of the people from the community, his role, besides from working 9 to 5 regular job, he was, besides being obviously ultra-Orthodox, he used to read the Bible in synagogue every Sabbath. Essentially what started was the grooming process. Obviously,
yeah, and this is a well-established thing. I'm not sure if this guy's in it, Manny Wax, but he there is a documentary that came out, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little older than that is all about the sexual abuse that goes on in the Hasidic community and the struggle to actually get the authorities to acknowledge or do anything about it because there's such an insular community, like he's kind of describing here. And when the wives or the mothers try to like protect their children, they will try to go to like family court and all this kind of stuff, and it ends up being like a huge fucking mess. It's pretty crazy.
At the time, I had no idea.
And I think he might be part of that documentary because he looks very familiar.
Well, what that word actually means, grooming. But now in hindsight, I understand. So essentially what that means, and in my case, was that he groomed me to essentially abuse me. After going through that process, at some point, he escalated and did what he essentially...
And the whole reason that they're showing this is to connect the idea that these tunnels were used for some form of abuse or sex trafficking. This guy, from what I don't think he's talking about anything like that. What this interview, I believe, is like years old. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now. This is just a way for them to kind of bridge that gap because this is his bread and butter a little bit. It's to kind of... is to spread these kinds of things, these kinds of conspiracies, these fake conspiracies. Dame kind of works best almost as like a distraction, distracting you from any, like a real thing. What's really going on? He wants you looking over here, thinking about these things that don't really matter, like at all. and trying to make it as sensational as possible so that he can make, $50. It's kind of crazy. Well, it's not crazy. I'm sorry. I just kind of reflexively said that. It's not crazy. It's exactly what he's doing.
Planned to do, which was to sexually abuse me. And I'll never forget the first time it happened, which was inside the Yeshiva Center synagogue during the holiday of the religious holiday of Shavuot. I remember this basically getting up at some point. My legs and I remember my pants and underpants were down around my ankles, and I just remember kind of almost as if I blacked out or something. This abuse happened at least another 2 times by this person in another synagogue as well, where we used to go, my family and he used to go there as well. There was another perpetrator. His name is David Cyprus, and the reason I can say his name now is because he was convicted and sentenced.
Dude, it's kind of gross to use this in this documentary, because I really have a feeling they didn't really find anything. They didn't find the things that they were hoping to find. They were hoping to find things that would point them in the direction of being able to imply that this is what the tunnels were used for. They were used for things like this, something nefarious. I don't know what the fucking tunnels were used for. It's fine. I think there is kind of a milquetoast answer, which probably isn't totally true. I have a feeling it's like a bunch of things at the same time, and some of these younger Hasidic dudes have really bought into the cult of that of the guy that they were talking about in the beginning, and they wanted to be able to do some sort of religious celebration that the elders were like forbidding. Some type of worship that they weren't like allowed to do, and they wanted to figure out a way to be able to do it without anyone knowing. Trelling says digging secret tunnels is very rarely for a good reason, unless you're John Rambo.
Was already released from jail after that, but it happened regularly, even just on the clothes. Just like initially it was molestation, touching the penis and nice things on the clothes. Again, it's like when I speak about it now, it's just still shocking to me how.
Because, the way to do this, if you're not trying to make it look like you're speaking to him, is to edit this into clips with some narration explaining, like, the story. Like, to kind of truncate it a little bit for prime time. Get the information as quickly as possible so we can kind of move on to the next thing. But this lingering here is just this artless fucktard. I don't know, being an egomaniac, being a narcissist, and use this so fucking weird. I'm sorry. It's weird and kind of slimy to use this interview in this way. It's kind of fucking gross.
Something like that could have happened there, and as it turns out, I wasn't the only one. And this was at the age of about 14 and a half. The abuse with him lasted for about 2.5 years. Obviously, when the second perpetrator came along, I learned to keep my mouth shut. I didn't say anything to anyone, but in hindsight, as it turns out, and this came out in the court cases, subsequently, it became very clear that many people were aware of at least some of the things that were going on, including in the leadership of the community. The head rabbi was fully aware, and some other rabbis were also aware. And
at least he didn't have the audacity to make noises, like say things like, wow. Damn. At least he didn't do that. It's just a lot of shots of him nodding along, taking in the information,
And if they weren't fully aware, all they had to do was inquire, ask questions, see what's going on, stand up for me, for a vulnerable child who's being abused. And it was just shocking. And not only that, at the same time, I went to the head rabbi, the late Rabbi Groner, and I gave him and I started talking to him about these issues, and he was very clear that he was fully aware of what was going on. And he himself said to me, "You don't need to do anything about it. I'm on top of it. I'm dealing with it." And meanwhile,
and then he molested me.
My second abuser was still in the same positions of authority as he was while he abused me all the years before that, in spite of the fact this rabbi, this head rabbi, was aware of at least some of the abuse against me, and as it turns out, against others. It was so painful. It was very difficult. And
Actually, I'm almost certain that this guy is the subject of that documentary, this case.
I just had to leave it inside of me. As soon as my story featured in 2011, countless victims went to the police, including approximately 15 victims who were abused by my second abuser, David Cyprus. We know there are triple figure victims in his case. He abused over 100 people. The vast majority have never pursued the matter and will never pursue. I had initially a lot of support even from within my former community, the ultra-Orthodox community.
This is like Dame Lucre is to documentary filmmaking as Tom McDonald is to hip-hop.
This head rabbi straight away came out on the Sabbath sermon around a week after my story was published. He said from the pulpit, "Who gave you permission?" Directed at me and my family, and my parents were inside the synagogue at the time.
Like, 'cause it's not like this is raw footage of him watching this interview. Like, he's never seen it before. Like, he's shocked. Like, holy shit. Like, it's because they had to do this. They had to gather this footage. They had to do this shoot. Premeditated deception.
When I saw what unfolded at 770, which is a place that I personally had been to many times, in some ways a home away from home, one word that came to me was lawlessness. There is complete lawlessness in that institution, in that community, and what ultimately that causes is vulnerability. And those who are most vulnerable in those cases are children. But what this particular...
I mean, you guys do remember the jacket and the plastic bullets, right? The bandolier. You guys remember that, right? It's got to protect the children.
Episode of the lawlessness that I saw in 770 really brought home to me the fact, which I suspected, is that there is lawlessness within that community. It's, the rabbis control certain things, what they're interested in, what they want to do. And therefore, I felt that their community are certainly much more vulnerable than other communities. The 770 is the international acorns.
And a lot of religious communities, this is always a problem. It's always a problem because there's like an inherent trust that you give over to religious authority figures. You're supposed to be subservient to them. This is why a lot of abuse happens. Anywhere there's people that are vulnerable in that way, predators will find their way in. That's why you always have to be vigilant, especially the adults in those communities, because they get caught up in that shit too, and they can't imagine. Like, I am from a small religious community. I grew up in one. It was like a very hardcore Catholic, Latin mass, the whole 9 yards. And that in the middle of nowhere, in bumfuck nowhere. And even then, even there, those people find their way in. They find their way in. It's crazy.
Of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, of which I was a member. And that happens, that they have these Chabad houses across the world. Often these rabbis have been the root of the problem rather than the solution.
Well, I'm happy. How long was that? That was... They played that shit for like 6 minutes. Holy shit. Just play the whole thing, dude.
Hi. Looking for someone.
How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good, thank God.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
You
My
too.
name is Levi Jacobs.
Dom, nice to meet you.
Why don't you come in and check it out?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it good? They follow it? They're good?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's that?
Yes.
Picture.
Yes, of course.
Together.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hi. Okay.
Dom, don't believe him, Dom. They're trying to fool you. They're trying to bring you in and treat you nicely so that your documentary will be conciliatory.
I don't want to serve anything. Hey. Hi, you too. Thank you. That's it. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Maybe Rabbi. This is Rabbi Gerlitzky.
Nice to meet you. Actually, some of the guys are celebrating in the back.
Okay.
Today's 74 years since the Rebbe, King Messiah, assumed leadership of the Chabad Lubavitch movement.
He's the one that had passed? Is he the one that passed?
Well, that's controversial thing to bring up.
Yeah, we don't say things like past. Again, guys, microphones would be cool. $10,000. You could have bought I think they're called lav mics.
But
yeah. But I'm saying.
But now they're 74 years today, so some guys are in the back.
Okay, so it's an important day. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you want to see them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would work.
We have here, we drink here, the booze.
Awesome.
You're the guy from the subway, no?
Yes, from the
video.
You're the guy from the subway now, because he was on X updating people as he was going. He was building hype for this documentary, maximize those dollary dues, and he was posting they're running around in the tunnels. Actually, lots of the footage is not even in this documentary, at least not yet. So they follow him. Dude, they're so plugged in. You come in here, it's almost like you if somebody told you were in a different country, you would believe it. But they're plugged in. They're really at the heart of everything, guys.
Shirt open? No, it wasn't.
Oh no, that's not me. Sorry.
Please look how they celebrate.
Also, it was really funny online. Everybody's showing pictures of these guys. Be like, those guys aren't teenagers. Those guys aren't in their. They look like they're 40. No, they really are. They're teenagers and guys in their early 20s. Dom is stun locked. He doesn't know what to do, Being a Hebrew himself, a black Hebrew Israelite, adjacent person, he doesn't know if he should join in. Would that be some form of blasphemy? Would he be kind of a traitor if he were to do that? But he also feels internally, he feels the struggle because he feels the call to celebrate.
This is awesome.
They're trying to cast a spell, so he never gets a chance to ask about the tunnels. They're just gonna keep this going, oh, what are you here for? Have some vodka.
So they're celebrating the life of the Mashiach.
I've been getting. So it's
He's like, now you're part of us. Now you're one of us. If you'll head to the back, Dom, excuse me. If you'll head to the back, Dom, we have your suit and your hat. Cool.
I don't know.
And this is your personal card you can take
Awesome.
information. To put the rumors to rest, just to put the facts out there, this synagogue is too small for the capacity of the certain times during the main prayers. There's not enough room here.
Yeah.
So certain people, it's just dragging out for no reason adjacent to the building.
Man, this synagogue looks like a VFW hall.
The properties are owned by the Chabad movement, and just dragging out for certain stupid reasons that it was never got expanded. We can double the size of the synagogue. So certain guys started digging it out in certain areas.
So they're doing it so that there's more room for people to come. I mean, this is not a completely implausible answer. I mean, look, they're crammed in there. A lot of them out there.
Just to initiate the project.
Isolated problem. Yeah.
No, the property adjacent along this wall, they started digging out.
Under the area where the windows are.
Yes, sir.
They started digging out to initiate this project of expanding this synagogue, all the property adjacent.
Yeah.
And it was done without permits. So the NYPD came to close it down. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
And the conspiracies.
Honestly, this sounds actually very plausible, and that they just, because they constantly do shit like this, like not like exactly this, but constantly do shit like this without permits, and are always getting in trouble and having to deal with the law in that capacity. So it's not, as far as I understand. So this is not super shocking.
I don't have time. I put you down the mere facts.
Yes.
And we focus on creating light in this world. The darkness will get pushed away on its own. When you have a dark room and you light even a small candle, light it pushes away the darkness. Maybe they'll say there was a bank also across the street.
Yes.
Maybe we were, you want to say conspiracies that can go on, and then people will say that the 9/11 was an inside job. And people say the moon landing never happened. I don't know. I can just say the mere fact.
Dom, I keep calling him Dame. I think it's just Dom. Dom is, he's like, yeah, man, I know people say stuff like that because it's me. Have you not seen my X account? Breaking. Aliens have landed in Arizona. Exclusive footage. He was known for, actually, for a little while, he would basically steal people's shit and then put his watermark on it. And it became kind of a meme for a little bit, as far as I understand. Because people will do that with their own videos to meme him, to make fun of him a little bit. It's kind of funny. But that is kind of how he built his channel. That's how he would kind of steal other people's viral stuff. And if he, had more engagement because he had a few more followers, like his upload of the video is going to be the one that takes off rather than somebody else's. But he's totally on the up and up, man. He's totally here. He's trying to free one enslaved mind at a time. He's, straight out of the Church of Hodges.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's just what I came down here for, just to kind of give people a view into the truth.
Take the view.
No. That's why I'm here, to give them a view. And I've done a lot of research. I see it's more so about the Messiah from 75 years ago. Nothing to do with the children, just people they fear what they don't understand. And I just came
balcony here, actually, if your cameras can show up here, there's a balcony with closed with the curtain. The Rebbe used to get up on that balcony and times on live television and encourage this singing of the song that we're singing now, that the Rebbe is the Messiah.
Yes. And that's what I've been just trying to validate. I have about 1 million people that follow us online.
Nice. What's your name?
Dom Lucre.
Yes, and Mendy Gerlitsky.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for having time to talk. Yeah.
You guys can come here and stay here for the prayer. The prayer is going to be 6:45.
Okay. It's 6:45. Okay.
Would you like a l'chaim, sir?
I mean, if you're at a celebration. If you're at a celebration, I'm curious where this lady's at.
Nasty bastard. As soon as I pee on him, he comes.
I mean, she definitely looks like she could be part of this community.
Okay.
He's still the most respected Messiah.
He's the leader of everybody.
Yeah.
The entire world, not just Jews.
Yeah, because there's 77.
L'chaim with you? Yeah, I'll say l'chaim also. Let's say l'chaim. What was it, Ron?
Dom. Yes, sir.
Everybody will say l'chaim together. Yechi, Adineinu, Mereinu, V'Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach Eilam Vad.
They're so crafty, they were able to distract Dom. He just bought it. He just bought the story, sight unseen. He's just like, you know what? That makes sense to me, man. You see this interview? It's crazy.
Long live our Master King Mashiach forever and ever. Chaim. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting loaded and just hanging out with the boys and singing is not such a bad thing. We should encourage more of this behavior amongst human beings.
Hey!
It'll be on X mainly, on Twitter, but it probably will pop on YouTube as well.
Dom Luke?
Yes.
Dom Luke.
Yes, Lucre. Yes, sir.
Lucre. ER.
Dom Lucre.
It's private property.
Lucre.
They must have had so little footage. They're just like, basically what we're watching is an assembly cut. They're like, dude, we got fucking 10 grand and we got to go on a trip to NYC. Got to go buy some nice shit, eat some nice food. Oh yeah, and also kind of shoot a documentary that we did in like about 10 hours.
Yo, sir, it's private property.
He's part of the management.
Yeah, you guys have to leave. This is private. It's private property. You have to go.
All right, no problem. We'll get out.
You need to stop filming. And you're.
Thank you very much.
You got this, right? Yeah, that way. That way. That's the exit. You're released from this. You know what I'm saying? What's your name?
Please don't film it. Thank you.
We're invited in.
See, already we're seeing the behavior of the youth. They're reckless. They just invited these dudes in, fucking cameras. Black Hebrew Israelite adjacent dude. They just invited him right in. They didn't know who the fuck he was. Trying to figure out who he was while they let him in, filming all of their secrets, okay? The management came and gave him the boot. They're like, what are these fucking kids doing now? Digging fucking tunnels, letting Dom Lucre into our fucking synagogue. What the fuck?
Please stop filming right now. Again, stop filming right now. Stop filming. You understand? You guys don't follow any rules? What is this?
What is this, chaos? Is this anarchy?
No, this is private property.
Well, we can do it in the road.
You want to stand over there? You can stand
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
You can't. Again, I told you very, very.
That's understandable. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we were invited in.
Everybody's just trying to shut Dom down, you know? He worked so hard.
So we were invited in and we were kicked out.
Is he gonna try to spin this into being some kind of like ominous event? I think it's pretty reasonable to kick you out, Dom. You know, they don't know who the fuck you are. You got a camera. You're over there drinking with the boys. Everybody's fucking singing and dancing.
About to start the ceremony in about 2 hours. They were going to go ahead and celebrate for the Messiah and his return to his initial start with the church from 74 years ago. And for some reason, I think the management of the Shabbat Center just kicked us out. I don't really too much know why. We'll find out some more details.
Why do you think? Can you put it together for us, detective?
Moving forward, but at first it was a really good time. We were getting down to some really good questions, got a lot of validation down, but I guess some call was sent up from the top and they shut it down.
Dude, what the fuck is this? Man, if I had donated money to Dom Lucre for this, like, oh man, money well spent. Yo, man, what do you know about them Jews, man? Yo, man, nobody wants to talk to me, man. Nobody knows nothing about these damn tunnels. What are people hiding?
Just say it.
Tell me why you treat me differently than all the other students.
Because you're black! And blacks do drugs!
That's a dramatic reenactment of how Dom has been treated while doing this investigation.
Yeah, so we're down here out in Brooklyn right now, investigating the claims of children being trafficked used through tunnels. We're speaking to the residents in New York to validate or invalidate these claims itself. We've been hearing some good stuff from a lot of great people that's claiming that these tunnels are being used indeed to traffic children.
It's tragic, man. That's tragic. It's like, it's...
We got one. He's like, we got one. We got somebody who's totally fucking into it.
Basically, it's modern human slavery now these days. And what's even sadder is that all this is in the Bible, and all this, like, as far as like...
This is like Spike Lee's illegitimate son. It's like his love child.
Jesus said, these little ones, anybody touches these little ones, and it says it in the Bible, anybody touches these little ones, woe to them. So when I feel like it's crazy because now they doing all this. I just recently seen Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I could.
He recently saw the film Sound of Freedom.
Can you imagine somebody so calm, so balanced, as though they had done this 50 times, 100 times, 500 times? How many times?
Man, once that shit hit Amazon Prime, he's got his grandmother's account. Man, he watched the shit out of that movie and it really opened his eyes.
I can't. It's sad that America is the most. They the most biggest clients for the children.
42nd Street. They'll take, like I said, they'll take a little kid like this,
snatch him up,
42nd Street.
the next person, and keep going.
Oh wow!
And you turn around.
Oh my
like,
goodness!
Where's my kid?
Yeah, it's
it's
structured and
man, wow!
It's like.
Now, people do snatch children off the streets. Now, if they are aware of this, I hope that they've given some statements to the police.
Like, you got lieutenants, you got...
Oh, wow. People are seeing this stuff like every day, not aware that he's...
From other countries.
Yeah.
Knowing that this is what's going on, knowing that this is a place to go to, they have hotel rooms and secret passageways.
They have auctions.
Yeah, I believe New York.
They have auctions?
And this is where the whole thing goes topsy-turvy.
They have fucking auctions?
Yes, I believe all those videos of all those little kids you see molested and stuff like that look like it's happening in other countries, it's happening right here in Brooklyn.
I will say definitely in this country, secret society with trafficking of whatever it could be, kids or human beings or, you know.
Listen, if we got based guys like this coming over, I say let them in.
Yes, all type of prostitutions, a ring for the for the good of people.
Yes, sir.
You know,
it's like, I know it's true. Dude, there's 4 minutes left in this. What the fuck was this for? What did this reveal? Nothing. I'm serious. Did they do this in like fucking 12 hours?
Hey, we just arrived to yet another tunnel location that we were tipped off on. We're going to do some investigation to see what's going on here. We were told that there was a secret tunnel entrance in the woods up here in upstate New York.
Yeah, it's a secret tunnel entrance. This is where they hold the auctions.
New York. Going to validate some of the claims that we got about it and see what's going on down here.
This is Blair Witch 4. Now, like, is it really so crazy to think that they dug out the side of that synagogue to try to connect it to another property without telling anybody because they just didn't want to have to deal with the city? Would that be a crazy thing? You know, stereotypes being a thing right now. You know what I mean? I think maybe the simplest answer in this case is the actual answer. Animal bones. This is probably evidence of some kind of human sacrifice. Why aren't there human bones? Well, it's because they turn them into animals before they sacrifice them, so nobody knows. We miss you, Fred. Oh, I don't know. Who is Fred? He used to be the old auctioneer. He's like, damn. Nothing. God damn. It's certainly unsettling, Dom. It's certainly unsettling. Nobody likes that amount of spiders, especially if they're above you.
It seems what may have been happening in the 770 tunnels was simply lawlessness. However, it's hard to say considering how quickly it was covered up and how many excuses were used to sweep away the inquiry.
Well, you know, it could be. Now, don't quote me on this, but call me crazy. It could be that they didn't really want to say the real answer because they would get sued. They would get sued by the city. And they wanted to avoid that.
Clearly, there's a lot that's happening underneath the streets of New York City.
A lot of cats live down there.
And there are miles and miles of tunnels where everything from human trafficking and satanic rituals are taking place. Ultimately, it feels...
I mean, like, my dude... I mean, is this from the people on the street interviews and what you've seen out there, you know? Being a professional like you are, I'd like to think that we would have found something. Anything. Not doodles on a wall, not a dead cat.
Feels like there are only more questions than answers.
Yes.
Questions that may continue to...
I mean, can you believe that graffiti artists come down into tunnels and draw graffiti? Spooky stuff.
Remain unanswered. Buried underneath the lights and sounds of America's cultural epicenter. The urban sprawl that is New...
Like, if they believe that shit is going on underneath New York City, shouldn't he be like mounting a massive GoFundMe to get like an army of people to go down there? Just constantly going down there and sweeping the tunnels. It doesn't even look like most of the places they had been, like anybody had been there in quite some time.
York City.
Dude, that was fucking crazy. That was such like that's like such horseshit. Let's see what the comments say. How are the people receiving the tunnels? Metchi Mercy says, well done. You should do a part 2. Proud of you, Dom. More questions indeed, says Tracy. You did good. I bet you have the heebie-jeebies down in that last tunnel. Next time you go, they have 18-volt rechargeable shop lights now. I would suggest taking one of them with you when you go next time. Yeah, that would require like some sort of, adult mind and ability to plan. Michael says, so you stole the content of an interview of an Australian abuse survivor that has nothing to do with any of the tunnels in New York while pretending it's an interview, go around abandoned subway tunnels and steal another video without attribution. That is dishonesty and grifting at a new level. That's true, because they did not, I don't think they disclosed that was, that they didn't have the rights to use it or anything, or they didn't ask to use it. And they literally try to pawn it off like it's a fucking interview that he's giving. Somebody says, whoa, great score and sound effects. Great B-roll of the city. Some of the dialogue is a bit quiet, but this content is pure fire. Says, cooking with cat hair. I'm so glad it's Dom telling the story. He's soft-spoken and manages the topic with a great deal of care. I can't watch those that yell and want shock content. It's disrespectful. We need this story out. We need to be aware, and I trust Dom. I will follow him down this deadly road. He's just out there asking questions, guys. What the fuck are you... What did he find? What was conclusive about that at all? There was nothing. They couldn't even, fake good shit. If this were real, YouTube would have banned it already. This is a good point. Keep digging. You're doing excellent work. 100%, says user BG5BI2EX7H. The way they kicked you out of there was more or less them making a face and defending themselves to tell you the truth. You are amazing, and I am so thankful for your bravery and all that you do, Dom. So what exactly did you find that we didn't know already? There is never light within a room with a bunch of drunk men without a balance of sober women. Investigation? ? This story has opened my eyes to how conspiracy theories pop out of nothing. I'm close enough to that community to know how bogus these conspiracies are. Clever storytelling by channels who are hungry for clicks makes you believe even much more than what is being actually told. Well, yeah, because the way he framed it in such a kind of a sleazy way. With that interview. And I don't blame the people for being pissed at him about that. It's kind of over the line, if you will. Now, Dom was out doing kind of promotion and talking about how he's a very censored man on X and everybody's always out to get him and blah, blah, blah. So he went on the Alex Stein show and they kind of gave him a hard time. And then he
made a documentary.
He ran around saying that they were also trying to destroy him and discredit him, and they're probably part of some sort of agenda, etc. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Called Tunnels. Please welcome on the legend himself, the king of all Twitter, Dom Lucre.
Hey, how's it going?
Dom, what the heck, dude? We're gonna play this clip. So, dude, you've been going super viral. You're getting 1 billion hits, and freaking Mr. Beast, is getting all the money. Tell me about that. I love that tweet. You're calling him out. Why is Mr. Beast get all the money, but Dom Lucre gets nothing?
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I got demonetized, which is they still haven't given a reason yet. Elon Musk said advertisers got the reason.
It's because it's for spam and being constantly corrected in community notes. That is the reason. It's because he reposts himself all the time. It's because they think you're there trying to grift, so you were demonetized as a result of that. I'm not even saying that's right or wrong or whatever, but people like Dom have really kind of fucking ruined Twitter, honestly, because everybody wants to be on the level that Dom is, and they'll say whatever they have to and be as sensationalistic or bullshit as they have to try to get followers so they can get a check. And he was complaining about Mr. Beast making like $250,000 off of a video, they failed to understand, or what Dom fails to understand, is that Mr. Beast was like officially sponsored. Like his video ran ads, and he got a ton of revenue from X itself because the advertisers directly want to be involved with Mr. Beast. Again, not saying that it's right, wrong, or whatever, but that is the reason. It's not some kind of secret cloak and dagger bullshit. It's not like the tunnels.
Well, they have the ability to pull or request to pull their ads, but he's alluding that every single advertiser on X is requesting to pull ads from my page, which is nuts because there are some wild ads that were on my page. There were Chinese ads, porn ads, etc. I don't think those advertisers specifically had any problem with my content. As soon as Mr. Beast came, got 250,000, which they owe me 15,000 every 2 weeks. I was one of their top paid creators. They pulled my pay, and Mr. Beast got a crazy.
He gets He was making $15,000 every 2 weeks, and he crowdsourced his fucking documentary for another 10 grand. You got to put your money where your mouth is, there, pal.
Check. I don't know. It's crazy cool.
But did they mess up your Stripe account? Like, do you still have a Stripe account? Because can they turn? I think they could turn you back on.
Yeah, I still have a Stripe, but it's still to be seen if I even get my subscriptions.
Yeah, because he's not actually he's not debanked.
Shows my subscription in my amount like it would normally would, but I would just have to wait till like the first of the month to see if I even get the subscription pay.
See, that's ridiculous though, how they can just turn it on and off like that. But well, they got porn on Twitter. How are you more controversial than porn? I've literally seen like women getting like gangbanged, and it was not good. It was, I mean, but how are you more controversial than that?
I think also part of the context of this video is that this episode of the show is like being sponsored by like a Delta 8 distributor, and they are eating Delta 8 gummies while they're recording live, and they ate like a bunch of them. So I think that they are a little high.
I wondered the same thing.
And they did a lot, so I think there's probably an element of trying to keep it together. At least I think that maybe factors in later on.
And a lot of the top advertisers right now are porn advertisers. Ever since he told the other ones to go F themselves, a lot of the new ads that we see are kind of unfiltered ads. They wouldn't have a problem with my content. It isn't like Disney was on my profile. There are like sports betting, etc. They don't care. They care about generating revenue, generating odds. It's a crazy conspiracy that they're pushing. And
so no matter what I do to generate those eyes is totally cool.
Targeted by community notes. I've been tagging months since about June of last year.
Wow.
Like June of last year, telling I was being targeted by one user specifically.
And then he did an experiment lately where he he was at war with community notes. So he wrote a bunch of stereotypical things about Jews, but instead of saying Jews, he said Muslims. And then all of the Muslims on X came and community noted him, saying that, no, that's not what Muslims do. That's what Jews do. And I think part of why he's in trouble is probably surrounding that, which I think is complete horseshit, because he was trying to kind of show the hypocrisy of X and how they're moderating.
And multiple influencers now were speaking about this one person. It's like Desert Raven. Even if you search that on Twitter, you would see all the posts about him. He did absolutely nothing about it, act like he didn't see it. And now he claims that since my account has a lot of community notes, advertisers wouldn't want to have their brand by it. I warned you since June. It could have been prevented if that be true.
Well, and honestly, you do get a lot of, I see that, Dom, I think once you get 1 million followers, you do get a lot of haters now. I mean, I noticed that. I have like 500,000. Why is that?
I don't know. And it's the same stuff, I'm the same.
Well, because now he's so big. I mean, part of it's just his popularity. So people definitely feel probably a little salty about that sometimes. But he steals a lot of shit from people, as I said earlier. He steals a lot of content from people, or he used to, and he would watermark it and kind of steal the virality out from under people. That's how he built his channel. And a lot of it is centered around kind of conspiracy theory stuff. One good thing I will say that he does do, though, he is occasionally very funny, and he's all about kind of like the nuclear family and trying to come at that from that perspective about like healing and fixing some of the ills that that are in the black community. Like, he does try to be a positive force in that realm, but man, when you do shit like he did in that documentary and the way he built his channel, it kind of like undermines all of the good things that he could possibly be doing or trying to be doing.
Person I was when you first interviewed me the last time. I'm the exact same person, the exact same strategy, the bait and switch. Nothing about me is switch. I target narratives that might not be spoken about, or I might talk about things that everyone forgot about. My brand is all the same. And I was just speaking about this. As soon as I reached 1 million, man, I see every single day now people saying that they're going to expose me or they have information to.
Yeah, because you have 1 million followers, so you're going to have way more attention. You're going to have way more attention. Like, the algorithm is going to feed you to more and more people because you're an interesting account. So you're just going to have more people with looking at you, and a lot of people are not going to like what they see for myriad reasons.
To expose about me, going through old Instagram posts. And the most interesting thing is that it gets thousands of likes now. It's crazy. It's like, wow, I'm just literally seeing it in real time, seeing how people, thousands of people, can band up against you just when your name is hot enough to where it matters. They'll just do it because it matters.
Well, it happens to...
Yes, because this is how you built your channel. Everybody there is now encouraged to be a clout-chasing fucking ghoul. It's all about replies. It's all about, quote tweets and trying to get attention. That's why people interact with you. That's it. Just like you used to do yourself. It's not a mystery, and it shouldn't surprise you. I mean, couldn't somebody that Dom Lucre has criticized or whatever was in the replies of make the same claim about him or about people like him? Serving up all this haterade? Come on now, y'all.
A guy that one of our coworkers here at the Blaze, Eric July, he sold $1 million twice in comic books. And then once you create once you create an ecosystem like that, it brings all the haters around. Because I know a lot of accounts that I'm friendly with, they're like all of a sudden they don't like you. But it's kind of weird how like 1 second you're conservative, then the next second you're not conservative enough. And then like the people that hate you, they kind of do show their kind of racist side or their bigoted side. You know what I mean? Everybody tries to play like they're not. And then now I'm seeing people say the N-word and all this to you. And I'm like, you were just kind of on his dick, and now he's the N-word.
I've seen it. I'm seeing people just switch, even like with the coverage I have. If I cover something, they'll want me to be adamant or as passionate about that topic as they are, or be as biased about it. And they'll see I might cover it that looks at someone in a positive light on one day, and then look at a party as a negative light, and it pisses a lot of people off. They're like, oh, I feel betrayed. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to validate any of your emotions. I'm here to present whatever facts that might be needed to be presented without any bias. That was my goal from day one, is to remove bias.
Are you fucking kidding me? I just watched your documentary, Dom, and whether or not like people like it or whatever, I think it's safe to assume that you went in with a particular bias. You had a narrative in mind, and you decided, regardless of what you actually found in your what seems like 12-hour investigation, you were going to go with it because that's what the people that follow you and pay for subscriptions want to see. They want you to validate their beliefs. They want you to affirm what they think. It's very simple, Dom.
Bias from my reporting, and that has really started to disturb people. And I ain't gonna lie to you, as soon as it was announced I was number 3 on Twitter, third most influential, that's where all the hate came from. It wasn't even 1 million followers. It was 2 days after I shared that post, I started getting attacked from everyone.
They realize how influential you are. Well, I get that too. It's like you're not conservative enough. But what are some of your biases? Let's play this clip of Tunnels, because now I got confused. 1 second I thought you're, pro-Israel. The next second they're saying you're anti-Israel. I don't even know what your biases are. But my point is...
But he's all black Hebrew Israelite. Look at that. Look at his necklace. We see you, Dom.
I think we should be able to be centrist. I think we should be able to have criticisms of every, race, religion, and creed without being hateful. But I want to play this Tunnels and then get your opinion on what's the deal with this Tunnels documentary.
Okay. Sounds good.
So is this at Shabbat Lubavitch?
Yeah, that's actually 77.
How about yourself?
Good, thank God.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
You
My
too.
name is Levy Jacobson.
Tom, nice to meet you.
Why don't you come in and check it out?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it good? They follow me? They're good?
Yeah. Come on.
Thank you.
What's that?
Yes.
They're pretty nice. That's nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey.
Okay, so that's you on the street. They just invited you in. The guys that dug all the tunnels that hired the Hispanic guys.
My camera. Yes, they did. They just randomly invited me in, which was really nice.
Well, it seems like he had made contact with that one guy. Like somebody was there to meet him. It seems like, or I wonder, maybe they were just following him on X. They were tracking his movements while he was in town. They sent out old Larry to run interference.
And it's crazy because I had the camera crew and they had no problem with the crew being there. So that was really kind of them. I don't know what's going on with my camera.
I don't know, dude. We got our Skype system. Our producer's high on Delta 9s. He can barely speak English. So there we go. Yeah, he's high. And so is Brandon. And they don't listen. He's now Jimmy's a bitch ass.
They invited me in though. Yeah, they were nice.
So
they invited me in, like, ask questions and get some transparency.
Is it true you tweeted that the Holocaust is fake?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Damn, I'm about to say
that's a joke. No, but that's what they're saying.
I'm about to say, did people really put that on there?
No, but they are.
Yeah, no, he's like, he had to think for a second. He's like, oh shit.
Saying because I thought you were pro-Israel, and then now people are like, oh, he's anti-Israel. So listen, like I said, you can have your criticisms of anybody. I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but what is your position on the tunnels and you know?
With the tunnels weren't, the Jewish people aren't using the tunnel to traffic humans. They were using it to worship their I don't want to say he passed, but it's kind of controversial, but someone that they consider a Messiah.
Why not? Why can't you say that he passed? He died. What angle are you playing at, Dom? Whose side are you on?
Because it wasn't allowed in that Shabbat center by the elders. And the young Israelis that came down, they kind of wanted to keep the tradition and worship outside of the accepted practice. And that's why they built under it, because it's still a sacred site. Now, for Israel, I've always been pretty America first. I just don't really too much believe in supporting other nations outside of America. That's just my stance on it. It's no bias against anyone. I just America first. I give the same energy to any African nation, probably worse to any African nation, to be honest with you. And that's just how I feel. I don't have any bias to any nation except America.
No, and I think that's fair. Like, it's kind of weird how we have this conversation. We can't criticize, we want to put America first. Families are struggling, yet we give all of our allies, as many resources as they supposedly need. So that does get annoying. But what do you think is going on with this Palestine-Israel war? Do you think it's ever going to stop in Gaza? Because listen, there are bad videos of Israeli men, Israeli hostages waving a white flag, and they got shot by the IDF. That's something that really.
Now, I do feel like a little bit that he's trying to bait him. That's just to get him to say something provocative, I guess. It's kind of gross.
Really happened. That's something terrible, Obviously, a lot of the people that are fighting for the IDF are, Jewish men in their 30s or late 30s. They're probably not really built for the military. So it's like, I don't think they're built to just have enough citizens where they can just throw them into like we did in Iraq. Like, they probably don't want as many casualties as us. But what do you think about the war and the violence that's happening in the Middle East?
I believe it's nothing new really under the sun, right, in that situation, because they've been fighting before me or you have been born. I was looking, I could be wrong. It's either Atari or Sega Genesis. It's one of the two. But there's a game called Attack on Gaza, man, that is extremely old. It's either made for Atari or Sega Genesis.
Wait, was there a video on it? Because it's like predictive programming. You know how they had all that predictive programming and then 9/11 was going to happen before?
No, I was just looking at the Wikipedia of any video game made with the word Gaza, or any video game that was based in Israel. Assassin's Creed was one based in Jerusalem. And like the Attack on Gaza.
And this is just some of the things that he does. It's just how his mind works. He's just a curious guy, okay? He likes to give the people information. He's trying to just throw things out there. Who knows? Maybe there's a pattern.
Was one of them. It's only like 6 games that have been made based in Israel. I was just curious. I look up random facts. And I was like, man, for that to have been a video game way back then, it's nothing new. It's been going on for a very long time. And
That's how he came to the conclusion that Israel-Palestine has been a thing for a very long time. It's like, man, if they made a Genesis game about it, shit, man, must have been going on forever. That was like 100 years ago.
I think it'll continue to go on. A strong believer in the Bible. I don't think it would end unless biblical events were to happen. I do believe the media,
which is what they think some people actually are trying to do, kind of bring about some sort of end times thing. A lot of speculation about Benjamin Netanyahu and his ideological and religious beliefs.
And a lot of creators will benefit from the war, from the war porn and the drama, and constantly share it as if the stuff is new. A lot of that stuff that you see that even the Palestinian, pro-Palestinian accounts are sharing, they're sharing a lot of old footage, which don't make it right or wrong for Israelis, but it just shows it's an information war nonetheless. And it's crazy that you'll see Israel or Palestine make it seem like either side are making some type of advance in the war. Yeah, you'll say Gaza be flattened, but man, a lot of videos that people will see of Gaza and say Gaza looks horrible or whatever right now, these are older images. We already had war there and rebuilt it. Like, it's never ending. And that's why I don't even cover the war no more, because they're right back to what they were doing when we weren't covering it. 1-2, 1-2. They're at the beat of the music with this thing.
Okay, well, let's be real.
I'll give him credit there. He's right about that. It just keeps going.
Though, aren't you a little mad that Ben Shapiro, the world's probably most famous Jewish person, is the best rapper in the world right now?
I think he's low-key hypocritical for it, because people will say, well, he's feeding into the joke. But it's like, man, he kind of spent a lot of time picking at anything that's hip-hop and going back and forth and engaging with Nicki Minaj. Just like, I thought he was supposed to be a purist that completely...
I thought he had integrity. He's not like Dom, okay? Out there in the tunnels, interviewing abuse survivors.
He denounced hip-hop or it's not music. For him to even engage with Nicki Minaj just somewhat makes me feel like the greatest critics are fans of the culture. I feel like he's always been a fan of hip-hop, and it's just like, man, it's low-key hypocritical from just a cat.
Yeah, but he's a fan of it in like a fetish way. Like, he likes to jerk off to it because his uncle owns the rights, owns the masters for all of their records.
Like that, and not keep it real with people. Like, man, hip-hop's cool. I don't agree with the lyrics, I don't agree with the influence, but hip-hop's cool. Like, that's just weird. That purist mindset, that it loses us a lot of voters, in my opinion. In the end, it loses us a lot of voters.
Hey, Alex, I gotta interrupt.
Jimmy? Yeah, like being a snob, yes, it probably does. It probably is a turnoff. Maybe Ben Shapiro has been gatekeeping a little too hard. Young hip-hop listeners feel alienated from his message.
What? You're high on CBD. What?
Well, no, I have a theory on why Dom White might have been demonetized, and I would just like to hear his response.
What is
it
your
possible because some of your most viral tweets were things that were very, very incorrect?
What are you talking about, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, let me bring up just like the one. I remember when you tweeted this video, it got deleted, and you said that they were being trafficked for adrenochrome.
That's a bait and switch tweet.
Well, but it turns out it was a video from Syria from 2015, and it was an aid worker. So I mean, that's just one example.
This is kind of scummy. They've been doing this a lot lately, I think. At least, or they've tried to a few times, where they bring somebody on, they have like a cordial conversation, and they start like ambushing them.
I'm not trying to pick on you,
but that's one example, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's one example. Look, this is the thing. Look, scroll down and show what date that is. Look how old these tweets are. This is
but he's going to go into this thing about these are old tweets, so they shouldn't count against me now. Instead of understanding that it would be indicative of a pattern of behavior.
Way before my demonetization. That's like the summer.
No. I'm saying, but it was a repeated thing like that.
My most viral tweets are accurate. My most viral tweets are accurate.
There you go, Jimmy.
Well, but you've also my most viral tweets are inaccurate. So I think that's maybe why you.
Jimmy's vaccinated.
That's your own bias.
Tell him your vaccine status, Jimmy.
Show
us three. Show us three, George. Let him check this tweet.
Eighth boosted.
If you have to go down to a tweet all the way in the summer, man. I mean, that just says a lot.
That's what I'm saying, Jimmy. What are you trying to do?
I'm saying you're going all the way back. I'm just saying you're going all the way back to the summer, bro.
No,
as if it was 1,000 years ago. Well, I guess in internet time, in X time. Maybe it was kind of like 1,000 years ago.
Post thousands of tweets. I posted 20-some thousands of tweets since November of 2022. And it's kind of crazy that the one that you find is, no, come on,
And
man.
Jimmy believes.
Alex, let me
You
finish.
should be able to find it in the
Well, it's my show, Jimmy.
I know,
what?
but we're having a discussion.
Bro, there are people right now, like Illuminati bot, that share whatever they want and never get community noted, never get targeted. I'm a targeted account for my influence. There are accounts that post nothing but kill the Israelis. Israelis are dirty monkeys. I see
on
some
a video game. We're on a video game right now.
Demonetized.
I think because they don't pose as
I see people pushing. I see people pushing Palestinian girls that are dead and bleeding with their head decapitated from 2013. No one gets community noted on these things.
Well, but why do you intentionally do community notes? You say like, oh, this is a Muslim.
Well, what's the point when you lost it?
Well, yeah, he was trying to actually purposely game the system. So this is a stupid point. But his point about like, well, yeah, I've had a lot of older tweets that were, proven to be untrue, or I made untrue statements. I mean, it's a pretty dramatic thing to say that somebody is being human trafficked for their adrenochrome. I'm just saying. I mean, I understand why you do it. Like, I don't have a problem that it's done, but it would be indicative of a bullshit artist, a guy that's trying to just get people to click on his tweets. But whatever. Like, personally, I don't care. But I can kind of understand, I suppose. I can at least understand the rationale behind not letting Dom just pull in tens of thousands of dollars.
I've lost my money.
But I guess my thing, you want to be known as this respected journalist, but you're intentionally like.
I don't know if he's a respected journalist. I think he's just.
Well, you're doing the documentary.
This is the thing. It would suck if it didn't work. It worked. What I did worked.
But like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of like? Because it makes people think you're
say the things that we can't.
Oh my God!
Community notes is anti-Semitic. That's what it proved. Community notes can say what I can't. How would it make me anti-Semitic if community notes said it?
Because
he doesn't. He's like being a dick. Like, this is so fucking. It's a dumb point. Like, he was saying that like a community notes, it will allow a correction about Jewish stereotypes. It's not that. It's like it's so basic.
Because you're intentionally baiting it. That's what I don't get.
No,
like,
not necessarily. Community notes. It's not my problem. It's the system problem. We give Twitter the trust to correct those issues. If I say something about Muslims and they say it's Jews, that's Twitter problem, not mine.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't know.
The really saying trying to call me anti-Semitic in 2024 is nuts. In 2024, to call me anti-Semitic is the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Jimmy, why are you talking?
I'm pretty serious with you, bro. That's some little shit. The shit they're trying to call someone anti-Semitic.
I brought
Who the fuck is this guy, man?
Jimmy, what do you bring on Jimmy? Why did you bring Mersh from ROTC?
So Mersh has a watermark, the Dom Lucre X handle watermark on his face because it's a funny joke.
Really trying to call someone anti-Semitic in 2024.
Jimmy is trying to call you anti-Semitic. Mersh, why are you here tonight? What's going on,
bro? This year, like, really, we in 2023. I think I'm in 2004 in here. Like, what?
I can't hear Mersh. I can't hear Mersh, but Mersh has been. Jimmy, why is Mersh on the show?
I told you I was too high for this.
I can't hear him, so you don't know how to work the show. Are you there, Mersh?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, you've been talking smack.
You got a crack team over there at the Blaze.
About Dom Lucre, Jimmy said, what the hell?
Listen, all I want to know is, first of all, I'm really freaked out. Why is his watermark on my screen? Dom, are you in my computer right now?
Shut up, Mersh.
Get out of my computer. Get out of here, Dom. Get out of here. Don't watermark my show. Come on.
Mersh, you're mad that Dom's got 1 million followers, got 1 billion hits. Come on.
No, I'm mad that Dom calls himself a creator. What do you create, Dom? 50% of your content's wildly libelous statements, and the other 50% is just shit you stole from other people and watermarks.
I'm a creator. I create waves.
You steal is what you do.
So he's just like a Kanye West type. Okay, he's an influencer. He creates waves, movements, patterns of thought. Breaking people out of the matrix, saving one enslaved mind at a time. Okay.
I started a bait and switch. I did the threads. I had the most viral threads. What do I create? I create waves. What do you create?
Yeah, what do you create?
You create waves with other people's shit.
Listen,
let me ask you something. You took 10. Let me.
When I went to the 70s.
I mean, like, listen, like Dom's all.
One more time. Nickel dicks on the internet who give me shit about whatever. Fuck you.
Dom's not happy.
$1,000 from people
right now.
and buy a $4,000 Gucci jacket and get a meth head
can do what I
producer,
want.
and then you went to New York and you just took the
This
Jews'
is the
word
thing.
for it
You
and went
want me
home.
to look
You
like
could have
this
just
is your problem,
retweeted
bro.
links to TikTok.
This is your problem.
He's
you want me
nice,
to look
all
like what you
seeing
used to.
eye,
No, the
dude.
problem is this. This is your problem.
Nice
you
necklace.
want me to look like what you used to. I don't have to look the way you want me to look, bro. As long as I get the job done, that's what's important. I damn sure do it better than you. No one knows who the fuck you are.
That's true.
I do my job better than you, bro. I came in this shit just a year or so ago. You want to show me selling that shirt? I kept it up.
You guys want
I
to
never
buy my
deleted
shirt?
it. Why did I keep it up? Why did I keep it up?
Want to buy my?
So what this is indicative of is that Dom is, in fact, a grifter. And he will sell whatever he needs to do and get attention any way he can to make money. He's a hustler, baby. And he's hustling.
Because that was my record label. The record label. People
What's
were
wrong with
requesting
that
us to make
shirt,
shirts on
Mersh?
demand.
What's wrong with
There's
that shirt?
nothing wrong with the shirt.
Yeah.
I sold it and
I thought you were
on my
conservative
Instagram.
your whole life.
I keep it up on my Instagram. What are you exposing? It's on my Instagram live right now.
Yeah, Mersh, what are you trying to...
Yeah, he gave an interview where he talked about like his parents that I saw, and his parents, his dad was a Democrat and his mother was Republican, and his dad voted for Gore and his mom voted for Bush. And when he asked his dad, why did you vote for Gore? He said, because he helps black people. And then when he asked his mom, he said, why did you vote for Bush? And she said a bunch of things. She talked to him for like an hour, explaining her rationale, what he's going to do for the country, etc. And from that moment on, Dom Lucre was born. Self-actualized, conservative man.
On my Instagram right now.
All right, so
I keep
wait.
it up.
Can I ask
I
something?
had
Can I ask
requests.
something?
I was a designer. I had requests to make shirts. I made them by demand. If they make the request, I'm not going to deny it. I kept it up. I don't delete my
people
past like
ask
a lot
you
of
to make shirts and then you sold the shirts. Usually when I commission somebody, I
you don't, bro. Look through my comments. Look at the rappers I was engaging with. Bankroll Fresh, designer. Look at the people I was engaging. Look at the people.
No, he's right. Actually, Mersh is right. If somebody was commissioning a shirt from you, they would be the ones that would be selling it. You wouldn't be advertising and selling it on your own. Unless he was just giving free advertisement. That's also a thing. That's, you know, that's actually very plausible. He's just advertising it because it's his design. And, you know, good business is good business for everybody.
People that were
That's
talking
dope.
with me.
That's
Bro,
dope.
I've
Were
been
you a
that
conservative?
is dope,
when you-
Mersh. That
were
is
you,
dope.
Since I was a
were you
bro.
conservative when
The
you were
problem
rolling
is you
with
want me to be
Bankroll
what you used
Fresh?
to. I don't care what you used to.
Hey, no.
I am here to break whatever
Dom,
narrative
let me
you're
say
used to.
this. Mersh, let's be real. I like you, Mersh. We're friends, obviously.
Listen,
But you're not perfect either. Your past isn't
No, hold
perfect.
on.
Mine's
Hold on,
not.
hold on.
Far from perfect,
Who is
but
this
I don't
person
call
supposed to
myself
be?
a visionary,
Bro, how many people
and I
are
don't
you
go
winning
around
for the
pretending to be
Republican Party?
conservative.
Hold on.
This guy's got
Hold
an
on. You
all-seeing
called me-
eye
you
around
said-
his
you asked me
neck.
how I'm a
He's out
creator.
buying
You
Gucci
asked me
coats
how
with
I'm a
his fans'
creator.
money.
What have you done for
Show
the
both of
What
them.
have you done for the GOP? How many
Hey, how's
people have
Lauren
you influenced?
Witzke doing?
When I
Is
went
she
to the
still doing
7-7
meth?
Shabbat, a Chicago rapper
Is your
went the day
producer
after.
still doing meth?
When I went down to the Jewish Shabbat, someone went down the day after. The Chicago rapper went the day after, and he went viral. What are you influencing? What are you actually doing?
Oh, so he opened the door. You see exactly the Kanye thing. He influenced somebody to go down to the Shabbat, and it went even more viral. The answer was even more viral because of Dom's influence. If Dom hadn't done that, then some New York rapper would not have gone there himself. Maybe he was jealous. Maybe he just wanted to party with them. Maybe he thought looked like they were having a good time.
What's your real life change? How many black
You know what?
Americans
Hey,
have you
Dom.
convinced to vote red? The world would
Hey,
be the
Dom.
exact same way it is right now if you died today, bro. If you
This is true. Base Dame. Or Dom. I keep saying Dame. Why do I keep saying Dame?
never were born, shit would never change out here. I have literally helped change our party. I've helped change what's accepted.
You're full
I've
of hubris,
changed it.
Dom.
And I've
You are
allowed us
full
to
of
have a more
hubris.
black
Listen to
vote.
this guy. It's all you. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
listen
No,
to a
the
guy.
reason
I'm
you're
on
the
someone's
reason
show and
you
I
have a
get attacked
popular
out of
Twitter
nowhere.
account.
Some fucking hit piece. Yeah, anyone will be.
Well, this is the thing. He's only popular on Twitter. Like, he's not popular outside of there, as far as I can tell. Even that screenshot they showed of his Instagram had, like, under 400 likes. I mean, in terms of relative to the size of his X account, you would think that, like, his following on things like YouTube would be, like, substantially bigger. But I don't know. Clearly, I have no fucking clue how to get followers, so what the fuck do I know?
be pissed if they come on someone's show, they think they fucking friend, and they'll set
I'll
them
make
up
my
with a
point
hit
when
piece.
you're done.
Yeah,
It's not a hit piece. I'm on your side, dog.
Are you done?
I'm on your side. Let's calm down.
Bro,
Let's calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
You act like I'm crazy for being pissed?
No, calm down.
This is nuts as fuck.
Dom.
This is nuts.
Relax,
bro.
relax,
I'm
relax.
The reason,
this is my
the
producer,
reason your
Jimmy.
Twitter
Wait,
account-
everybody chill. Everybody chill. Did he leave? Gosh dang it!
Dude, I'm sorry. I was so
Did he run
high.
away?
That's your fault that you called Mersh.
Did he
It's
run
not.
away
This had
from
nothing to do with me, Mersh. This is all freaking
happened?
Jimmy.
So, Mersh, you remember me? Remember when I sang in a Speedo when you were in studio?
Yeah.
I got a text.
Yeah,
I forget.
No. So yeah,
put
like
that in my Skype
I was
bank.
just too high for that. So thanks for picking up the Skype call.
Can I just say one thing? I wanted to clarify a few things. He didn't give me a chance to talk.
Dude, no,
There's a couple
wait,
things
dude,
he-
We're just gonna watch. I think there's a little bit more. I don't care about Mersh, but let's see what he has to say about Dom. How he slanders him.
I don't want Dom to. Didn't want to beat him up like that. I don't think Dom's bad. But well, Jimmy, why would you bring on Mersh? What is your problem with him, Mersh?
Well, a couple things. The fact that I said half of his content is just stolen from other people. The other half is why. Dude, when he tweeted out, he's like, "Why am I getting demonetized?" Meanwhile, a month ago, he's like, "Jim Carrey is 100% definitely a pedophile," and then he had like no proof. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe Elon wants to be in The Mask 3. You don't know. But I want to clarify, he was complaining that he gets his money 2 hours later than all the other creators on Twitter. All the other creators on Twitter don't have a green dot card. So that might have been probably why
That's
sort
racist, Mersh. You're such a piece of shit, dude.
I am.
I'm on CB.
Well, I think that's it. I think that's it for the Dom Lucre stuff. So, I was gonna check in with the freaks, but it's kind of late, so this ended up doing this a little bit longer than I expected to. So we will do that on Thursday. Thursday this week is another episode of Nightcap, and then the following Thursday we'll be back on track, doing another episode of Goes to the Movies. Sorry, third episode. I hope you can come and check it out. We're going to be talking about the Rob Reiner's Misery. We're going to be talking about the Stephen King adaptation with James Caan and Kathy Bates. Should be a really great time. I'm looking forward to it myself. But yeah, happy Black History Month, everybody, and we was Doms. Good night.